JW, Don, Donais, Jeff, Baart, we're here as your Copilot Cloud Solution Architects helping you. So if you have a question, you can reach out to one of us and we'll be able to get you to the right people if you've got questions or concerns or trying to figure out how to deploy Copilot in your environment or getting involved in agents. Okay. You can click on this link. This is the whole entire book of news, everything that was announced at the Microsoft Ignite conference in San Francisco this week. So go ahead and click on news.microsoft.com/ignite-2025-book of news. So thanks, Will, for doing that. That's a lot I said. All right. So good deal. So let's dig in, right? One thing that we're all here for is around AI built for work, right? Copilot is uniquely an AI built for work, the latest innovation, and we're really working hard to get this out to you with all the new features and functionality. And the biggest one that I noticed I wanted to talk about is Work IQ, right? It's the intelligent layer that enables Microsoft Copilot and agents to know your work inside and out. It connects to your workflows, your relationships, right? It's a little bit different than the graph. It builds on the graph, right? On all the work that you're doing. So inference, data, and memory, right? Personal, your data includes your styles, your habits. Like I like it pretty fun. I like a lot of emojis and thumbs up and have a good time. And I like a very casual conversation. So it remembers that about me, but it's implicitly grounding for work across data and memory and provides new insights not possible with connectors and predictive actions that anticipate what you might need and actively execute. So that is now a new foundation of Copilot. So that was announced this week. I thought that was very, very cool. Dig into advanced scheduling and time management, right? This is rolling out now, and some will go on into December, right? The latest enhancements in Copilot calendaring, triaging your calendar, right? Setting instructions, right? You'll notice a small video playing. We'll have one-on-one meeting and personal time, as well as we'll have delegation. So I'm really excited about the delegation on calendaring and emails. So I could actually look at find times, right? Booking agendas and drafting. So that is a huge advancement. And that a lot will be coming to the new version of Outlook. So keep an eye on that as things come out. And by the way, you can go out to our team, to the Copilot team, and you should be able to see some updates as that's starting to come, right? But also you could use natural language for scheduling meetings, right? Copilot can also update your schedule in real time and steer and guide you, right? So a great use case for me, negotiating conflicts is something I always have a problem with, right? That's in itself is great. So you can start next week. I want a weekly 30-minute one-on-one with my manager, afternoons preferred, maybe avoid Fridays, automatically reschedule on declines and conflicts. So that in itself could be a really nice prompt that will be coming, right? Starting soon. So that's, if I'm thinking about it, use that prompt to schedule for meetings in the future and avoiding conflicts and help you with negotiating some of the calendar issues that we all have. On to the next one, right? There's a little video that will play along here, right? Triaging emails from your phone, right? Summarizing, asking questions in an active way, right? That in itself is going to be huge. While I'm on the road, I can manage all that through my device, my phone, and flagging, pinning, and archiving and deleting. So we'll have Copilot helping you along the way, right? You can ask Copilot for follow-up questions. You can read an email, right, directly to it. Take a triaging like a specific or drafting a reply back. So that's all the functionality that we're adding on the mobile enhancements. Love that for us road warriors. Okay. This was a huge new announcement. Agent mode. I'm going to talk about PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. Let's talk about PowerPoint first, right? It's bringing co-authoring and co-designing to the app on the work that you're doing already. So already in Word and Excel for natural language document creation, but this is going to help take it to the next level, right? With Copilot, with Agent, mode, Copilot can update existing decks while working within your branding template. That's been a real challenge, right? You want to use a standard template in your company. This can then take advantage of that. It also can draw from context from files, meetings, emails, and a combination of your web sources can now all bring that into agent mode in PowerPoint, right? Grounding your data. And there it is, that work IQ that I mentioned earlier. So this is sort of a huge innovation. So let me click. There it is. Yeah, pretty huge, right? So I love the idea of refining slides to sort of match the company standards. So that a lot of that can be in, and as well as grounding data from Excel or from other sources like files, meetings, emails, drawing that all in. Very similar you'll see in Excel mode, right? I'll just play a quick video. Oop. Yeah. So very, very similar. Now you can add other contexts like I mentioned earlier. Same from PowerPoint. Now we've extended the same grounding across other trusted sources that you have, as well as in Word, right? We can integrate restructuring content that you now have, right, by adding the agent mode for Word. And this is summarizing and makes it super easy when you want to polish up a document. So this is a quick video that's running through and adding more context real time as I'm working on the document alongside. So you just sort of describe Copilot will rewrite sections, right? Apply styles, tables, add lists. Every change is visible and editable. So you're totally in control all the time. And it can use files, emails, and meetings and grounding on your work, right, to help you stay in control. So I like that's another the agent mode that's rolling out now. So you should see that if you've not enabled Frontier, you can do that and it should be popping up immediately. Okay. This
Jonathan,
is,
one thing to note on any of those agent modes, if you're familiar in the past with app skills, which was there for quite a while, and then we moved into the embedded Copilot experience. Really, that app skills is this what we're talking about, these agent mode scenarios in more highly tuned to that app, right? To Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And so you're going to get a lot more capability when you're using that agent mode versus utilizing just the regular embedded Copilot. So,
yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Don. Yeah. So this is grounding your work, total transparent, and also it's staying in the confines of your service boundary, right? You're not taking this and sending it out to ChatGPT or some other model, right? You're staying within your service boundary, right? We're respecting your security layer here. So obviously super important to make mention of that. All right. Rolling out now, we've got the latest video model using Sora 2, right, for creating videos, generate short clips from natural prompts, right, replace sort of this make it, just make it super simple for you to create super intelligent videos. So. Yeah. So but that was pretty cool, right? So you could easily just sort of describe what you want to like create a 4-second clip with 3 pillars labeled as growth, reliability, trust, and animate as stacks, and then tell it what aspect ratio you want with a clean iconographic style. So I see it in sort of education, perhaps, like create a 5-second clip on training on some topic. So you've got to be really specific, summarize or outline a recap, and it can do all of that for you. So this is some new technology that's rolling out now as well in November and December. So, and I saw a question post around Europe, and that I will leave to my experts to talk about. All right, this is something totally new that's happening. We're increasing user level MCP connectors in M365 Copilot, allowing users to securely connect to third-party tools like Notion or HubSpot or Canva directly from Microsoft 365 Copilot without syncing data or enabling real-time access for external knowledge. So these connectors model from an admin-led tenant scoped, right, index based on user initiated easy onboarding and real-time integration. So there's a lot more going on with the work that we're doing with MCP, right? And it makes it super easy to add these scopes into already real-time access and data management. So, you could use it for catching up on shared documents, right? Summarizing feedback from some particular location or get insights, right? Creating reports. I could summarize the latest sales pipeline updates and customize interactions from the work I've got on my HubSpot. Or work I'm doing on my Notion workspace, right? Creating a draft in Canva using a recent marketing campaign. So these are certainly easy ways for adding more AI assistance into your day. So you'll see that these under the sources now, you should see some additional new options. Okay. One of my favorite, Teams mode for Microsoft 365 Copilot, right? Collaborate with Copilot and with your colleagues on group chats, right? Starting a one-on-one with Copilot and expand it into a group chat or just in your group team. So you can just add the @Copilot to your group and let Copilot do the work for you. Will and I are on a big team and we added Copilot. And at the end of the day, I just can ask some individual questions about what's been going on throughout the day. It makes it really easy for me to stay up on super chatty teams and helps maintain sort of context and conversation. So for me, it's huge. You can do an app mention and as well just do the app mentioned, the Copilot app. So one of my best. It's great for brainstorming and problem solving. Copilot can help us also through gathering knowledge and decision support. And that's something I use it quite often for complex problems that we're solving within the chat or collaborating on a project. Yeah, Will and I do that quite often. And the team are always collaborating on helping build content for you. And often we'll just use Copilot to help some of that through a noisy chat. Okay, video recap. The idea of doing a meeting recap experience. I'm going to play the quick video and you can just write in the prompt a recap from the meeting, right? I'm just going to add the meeting there and then it'll summarize all of that. It creates a narrative of the video highlights and puts all that into a short clip, which is awesome. I go to meetings all the time. And often I just need a quick update from the video, right? So quick short narrative. For anyone who may have not attended, this is a great way to catch up super quickly on video recap on Copilot Chat. All right. App Builder. Okay. Something new that we're just releasing. You should be able to see this. It's a new era for information workers where employees can become their own AI workers using the AI Maker, right? So you've got the AI, the App Builder, and it converts sort of natural language instructions into highly customized, engaging experiences, managing projects, teams activities, modeling and visual data, and collecting and sharing information. You can quickly build with access to the graph, deploy, and you can share, and then you can access this. So you get the ability to use the new built-in app builder by using natural language to build out a new app for you. So that is it. Don, I think I'm over. Oh, one last thing.
You got a couple. You actually got a couple. So keep going.
All right, we've got a Copilot Search and new chat, right? So you might have noticed that we've got the new M365 Copilot app experience, where we've got search is now bringing sort of the powerful conversational chat in one place. And you'll notice that when you do a search, you've got some context to exactly what's going on, as well as your sources. I love the idea of where it's pulling your data from. And you can, instead of using sort of keywords, just enter in the phrase, the entire phrase, because we have semantic search now, and we'll be able to have a full conversation in search. And when you go to highlight over the card that it finds, you're going to have a little pop-up card that'll give you exactly some information and give you a select preview of the document in the response. Makes it super simple for you, right? So if you need to prepare for competitive analysis for an upcoming leadership review, instead of sort of toggling between tools, let Copilot Search to help locate relevant documents, emails, and meetings and notes. And then you can bring all that together, and then Copilot Chat can summarize and help it identify any open questions and any within your enterprise data. So I love the new experience. This has been in the works for years. And I think anybody who is an old SharePoint search admin, you'll realize that you love this new feature and functionality. All right. One of the last one, we've got DLP, right? We're doing a bunch of work preventing Copilot from responding to prompts on internal data sources that it doesn't have access to. So anything like a sensitive data. So I'm working with Project Zaba or Project Wingtip, right? And it's part of my sensitive information. Copilot will not be able to do that. So you'll see the document or the information that I've requested is blocked. So if you're working on some sensitive information, you'll be able to key in and prevent that from happening. So that's going to happen in your sensitive information list and be able to obviously bring back. So perhaps maybe about competitive analysis or employee data, like financial information. You can now block all that, right? Give me more information about financial details on something. And then, of course, we can use this feature to block that. All right. I've said enough. I'm going to hand it over to Don Donais. He's going to take control. And we're going to talk about agents, and more agents. Don, over to you.
Hey, thanks there, Jonathan. Let me get you off Spotlight, get myself on there so we're all focusing on this. All right. So agentic is the way of what Microsoft is doing right now. So a lot of innovation is happening there. You're going to see a lot of different first-party agents that are coming at you that you can take advantage of. A lot of these agents in the past and just recently have been set up so that if you have an M365 E5 account, you have access to all those licenses, right? And some of the other license types as well. So keep that in mind. But let's kind of talk through the big things that were kind of announced at Ignite around agents. So the first thing is going back to, and if you guys remember, just recently we talked about this thing called computer use and this ability to be able to have it's basically RPA, if you don't think of it that way, but now using agents to be able to do all that work. And that's something you can set up aside and have that run with a different account and let it do its automation there. But what about the end user and being able to do that and somewhere to be able to do that? So think of this as Opal is the ability, and this is going to be in Frontier. It's going to be coming out here in November. Basically, it allows you to be able to utilize this agent type thing to be able to run things in an environment that is closed off. All right. So maybe you need to have, maybe it's creating a PO for a new vendor or any of those types of things. You need some automation on it, but you need to be able to see exactly what it's doing. Maybe it's on a page that needs to be filled out specifically. You don't have access back end wise. You need to do it on a physical page, that type of thing. So what it will do is Opal will, you tell instructions to be able to do this, and what it will do is it will actually spin up a secure Windows 365 virtual machine. And there's some really great videos at Ignite. There's a session that actually talked about it. I attended yesterday that showed how that works. And it will go through and run through those descriptions, right? And so very, very, very cool way to be able to do that and a great way to be able to interact with it and utilize it in real time and then being able to automate that later on. So next evolution in the RPA side of things. All right, then on the SharePoint side of things, you guys have been seeing a lot of good information or a lot of things happening with SharePoint in general. But some of the new things that are happening really is being able to reason within your SharePoint site. And what you're going to see is this evolution of you. And if you haven't seen this yet, the Copilot icon being in the bottom right-hand corner of your SharePoint site, so you can access it. Depending upon if you're just visiting that particular site and you want to gather knowledge and what's going on, maybe it's updates, what was the news articles that were just recently done. But then it also allows you to be able to leverage the metadata, which is a big deal. So now, again, going back to what Jonathan was saying, some of your past SharePoint experiences, well, metadata is a huge part of SharePoint, right? So I have document libraries and lists that have all that metadata. So now I'm actually able to reason across that. And by the way, we can utilize Copilot to help us literally create that metadata based off of that content that's in there. So however you have that set up, it will be able to make that suggestion, put those in there so you don't have to manually tag that anymore, and especially with that knowledge agent to be able to go through and do that. So some major announcements going on that one. Oh, hang on. Let's not do that quite yet. All right. So go back here. All right. So Word, Excel, and PowerPoint agent. So we talked about agent mode in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. But think about the next step in the evolution. What about if I just want to be able to create the documents inside chat, right, in Microsoft 365 chat, and be able to just create everything there and then get that document and continue on to do whatever I need to do that, right? So that's really what this is allowing you to do. Again, it's an agent. You call that agent inside your chat, or if you find the agent itself, you can actually build it from there. Again, this is going to be one of those frontier program things that's going to happen. And get it out there for everybody to be able to use and do it. So it is utilizing, higher end capabilities to be able to do this. And again, frontier capability to be able to actually create your documents right in the chat. All right, so knowledge agent, and let me actually go back. I want to play that video to give you an idea. Right, so that kind of gives you an overview of, especially in the PowerPoint, but you can say the same thing in Word and Excel. Again, very similar to some of the things that you're seeing. Like if I want to go into PowerPoint and I say create with Copilot, it's giving that experience again, but in the chat experience versus being in the application experience. All right, so knowledge agent, and kind of hinted a little bit about that with the whole SharePoint side of things. Really, this is the point that it's really going to give you that metadata capability. And so knowledge agent really is going to help on making sure everything is there from a metadata perspective. It could actually build rules and create views based off of what you want it to do. From an admin perspective, the nice thing about this, and this, by the way, this has been out in public preview here for September. Hopefully you've actually played with it if you're in public preview. But it actually allows the admins to be able to take care of links or stale content, or generate summaries of the information that you have here for your end users who are attending. So a lot of great things happening in this, but just to keep that in mind. All right, so some enhancements for agents in Teams channels. So if you remember and recall when Jonathan was kind of talking about his section, there was some advancement as far as bringing co-pilots into your one-on-one and group chats. But what about actually having an agent go into and be proactive with what's going on with your Teams channels? And that's really what this is all about. Doing things like scheduling meetings based off of appropriate times, being able to create a plan, a work back plan on a particular goal that you're working on, statuses, or even doing a status reporting, creating planner boards, those things, and being able to have that proactively work as you are doing things. So this is happening here as a frontier piece, happening here in November, and more information will be coming out on that. All right, and then again, that Teams channel information so that you can just gather and complex and the other thing too is, and as the conversation is wrapped around MCP and how that works, you will also be able to, with this agents in here, connect those through MCP to be able to make sure that you have access to the necessary data, right? So if, for instance, you wanted to be able to use something from GitHub, or maybe you have some tasks in Atlassian, being able to bring them in and read that information inside your chat. You'll be able to do that with these agents and MCP as well. All right, so this has been talked about for a little while, rolling out starting here in November. This is the employee self-service agent, and think of this as that catch-all for anything having to do with that end user, right? So we're talking about, could be HR, could be time tracking, could be even submitting an IT request. Any of those things from an HR and IT perspective can be used here. And you will be able to then connect this with Workday, SAP SuccessFactors, and ServiceNow to be able to implement some of these automation things. So say, for instance, somebody changing roles and they need to go through that process of getting them updated to a new role, that could be started here with this by somebody, right? So asking the agent, or if I'm time for a new computer and I put in the request, then the agent will do that on behalf. So it will interact with people as necessary, or it'll interact with other agents or other data that you have within your organization. And so, yes, there is you're going to need to make some, setup in the backend configuration to be able to get it to happen. But it is a first-party application that you can be able to use for Copilot. All right. Another great agent that's coming in really specifically for your leadership within your organization. This is going to be part of the Frontier program here in November. Basically, this Worksites agent is going to be able to allow you to be able to understand and get a clear view of your team and your organization, which includes skills and capabilities and what they are doing overall. So, and it's data driven. There's a lot of information that's going to be brought back that's data driven, so you can understand what's going on and get the ability to be able to have reasoning across all that data for your particular team to be able to align the necessary needs, right? So again, this is coming here in November in the Frontier program. People agent is that idea of if I'm an end user and I'm working on a particular project and I need an expertise in another area, right? So this is going to be allowing me to be able to ask questions, to be able to discover colleagues. They might have a specific skill set that I'm going to need to be able to complete this program. So let me just run the video here so you can understand a little bit. Maybe it's not much of a video, but okay. So that there was some talk track behind it, but so it gives you just a little bit of ability to be able to ask questions and understand quickly and be able to find those key personnel as necessary. All right, so then on the learning side, right? So the learning side allows me to be able to, with the learning agent, again, a frontier program here in November, be able to then connect an app and have people ask questions about upskilling, right? So maybe I need to learn more about AI, and I'll be able to do that utilizing this agent, and it'll give me recommendations. And I can get that information from things like our LMS that we have, or out of the box, of course, it's going to have some kind of a connection to LinkedIn Learning, but you do have to have that LinkedIn Learning license to be able to, and access to that premium courses in LinkedIn Learning library to be able to do it. But it'll allow you to be able to configure so that you can bring your information in from your LMS so you can access it and reason against it, right? So if I'm looking for a particular skill set, it's going to take a look at that content and then make those suggestions specifically on what those skill sets I'm trying to go for. As you can see in the video here, I'm looking it up and it's going against my LMS and pulling back recommendations as far as what I want to be able to learn and how I'm going to be able to do that. And then bring back cards specifically so that I can then go and talk to a specific person or bring content for me to learn. All right. AJW, guess what? That's it.
Wow. That was it was a lot of content.
It was a lot of content, yes. But didn't see there were like a lot of questions, especially on the agent side, but there was a lot of conversations wrapped around MCP. So thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, Jeff, for getting that information to the guys.
Yeah.
Any questions, any comments, anything from the group?
Can we take everybody off of mute and raise hands? Can we do that?
Here we go. Any new, better prompting techniques for this new agent mode? It's new, so we're still working through that. And what I finding, and again, as I was mentioning before, it's very similar to your app skills. And and in app skills, for me, it was, hey, how do I really, thinking about Excel, how do I really want to analyze this information specifically, and then being able to take that output and hone it down. So I don't think there's going to be anything different wrapped around the agent mode and how we're going to approach it. You're still going to have to go through that process of honing it down, but I don't know if any other guys want to speak at that.
Will or Jeff?
I would say the only thing I would add is if you're familiar at all with our prompt framework, the goal, context, source, expectations, the ingredients that go into a prompt. If you've done any training with us, you've probably seen it a billion times. I would probably add in a T into that, and that would be for task. So whatever task it is you're trying to complete, it's kind of a little bit separate than what we've typically written in our prompts because it is very specific to whatever application we're doing that in.
Exactly.
That's not official. That's just kind of how I think about it when I'm writing out those prompts. But other than that, no, there really is no difference. You're still writing a prompt. You're using natural language to tell Copilot what it is you want in the end.
Agreed.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Will.
Yeah. And you could use Copilot to help you write your prompt too. Right.
Yeah, there's that thing called a prompt coach, if you have it, right?
Yeah, if you could use the prompt coach, it's a great little agent.
Or even ask Copilot, take a look at this and give me suggestions too. And then Russ was asking a question. So they have deployed Workday and ServiceNow as an app in Teams, right? So it's just the Teams app that you're able to ask questions and do that. How is this, the ESS agent really going to, is it going to work in tandem with it? Is it going to be, again, depending upon what you're trying to do, but think about it being able to reason across, hey, I need to be able to do X, Y, and Z, and using semantic search or I should say Copilot to be able to then say, hey, this is similar to these things here, and bring that all back and ask those questions. I think you're going to get a little bit better experience, but then you can also set the automation into that. For instance, maybe there's a troubleshooting ticket that happens and you need to get a new thing ordered, then it will automatically then could actually order that device for you through that system. So again, I think you're going to have to go through Russ and evaluate both and what you're going to be able to get at it. But there is going to be some differences for sure.
Yeah. Jeff Wilson, that's a great question. When will that come out of beta?
Yeah, I don't know if any of us know that one, Jeff, as far as when the Copilot function in Excel will exit beta and actually become availability. I don't know, Will, if you've come across that one, but I haven't seen anything yet.
To say, I saw something about this earlier today. I'm going to see if I can find the post on it, and then
Okay.
I will fill you in if I can share it.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
Don, have we bumbled it that we can't take anybody off of mute?
Oh, no, I totally did not do that. Give me a second.
Come off, ask a question or any question. We've got a little bit of extra time. We went through the highlights as quick as we could, but I did post the Copilot blog in the chat. So, keep your eye on that. There's always great articles, and often I'll take some of that and repost it back in our team and some of the changes. So, yeah, feel free to do that. Take a look.
Absolutely. All right. With that, while Will is looking that up, go ahead and please take a second and fill out the survey for us and let us know how it went. The link's there or it's in the chat, so you can go ahead and fill that out for us. We'd appreciate it. Microsoft people, please do not do that. We want to get it from our customers and understand what's going on. As we mentioned before, this is a community. We have 80 strong right now in our community. So if you're interested in joining it, go ahead, and we posted that link before. We can go ahead and throw that link in there again. Like I said, this is a monthly session, so we'll be coming up with topics. We'll be posting them in the chat in one of the channels there. So just go ahead and do that, and that's a great opportunity for you guys to ask questions too. So please take a couple seconds and get signed up for that. That would be awesome.
I just posted another one, some upcoming webinars that I thought would be super helpful. Copilot Chat for Manufacturing. We've got Champions, Copilot Adoption Strategies and Skills and Resources for Success on December 9th. That's certainly one that I think is really valuable as many of our customers are starting on this journey, right? And thinking about Copilot, not just as like another tool like Loop or Word or Excel. This is a transformation, the way that you are working and the way that Copilot is infused in your day-to-day work. So I think it's super important. And
Agreed. Yep.
Haven't had a chance, go back, and those are part of our friends over at the Community Hub, right?
Yep.
Don?
Community Hub. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Our Customer Hub. I'm sorry.
Our customer
so these
hub,
are
yes.
sorry. Our friends at the Customer Hub
We're the Community
host
Hub.
these meetings monthly. They often coincide with some of the things that we're doing, but a little bit different. We're a bit more agile. So please, if you like what you had, please share with others. Please, extend this invite on to anyone. You could be in the business, you could be in IT. And how do we get the next one?